Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Falavalita and I am the Regional Coordinator of Vancouver Island Fashion Revolution. I'm here with Brooke and we're going to be walking through the studio of Never Ending Weekend. So if you want to tell us what inspires you for all of your products, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I draw a lot of inspiration from like modular, colored, like 80s, like those old IKEA ads, Benetton, like how the old Benetton ads like play with color and like positioning. And another is just like need. So, like I made a backpack when I needed a backpack. I'm getting an iPad in the mail soon, and so I'm gonna make a case to go for the iPad. And then also playing with color. Like I have like 7 tones of brown and then like an array of like interesting different colors, and I like love playing with them and then just kind of seeing how I can work with like unusual colors together and then make something out of that.
Would you like to walk us through kind of like the design process that you go through typically when you're making something new?
Yeah, so usually when I have an idea for something, my first move is just doing like a really quick sketch of it. So I just have like a little book and I just do like a quick sketch when something's on my mind, and then from there I will just like think about like how I want it to work, like with the pattern pieces, like how I want it to function. Do I want a strap that's like permanent or reusable or like removable? Like how that would function for me. What would I like do with this item? Would it be something that I would maybe toss into something else or use it to carry other things along from like the main function? The jacket that I have, the wax canvas jacket, I like spent hours and hours, like honestly like months thinking about it, like how it would look, what I would do with the facings, like would I have a neck facing, would it be a swoop, what would the snaps look like, what would the pockets be. And I thought of that until I was just like sick of thinking of it, and like got to a point where it like felt really good to me in my mind, and then I get like really excited to make the pattern pieces and like put it to paper. So by the time I'm making the pattern pieces, it goes like really quickly because I've already like thought out all the elements, so it's just a matter of like bringing them to life.
Yeah, awesome. I would love if you could tell us what makes you go for the wax canvas feel.
I like working with sturdier fabrics, and I like the colors that it offered. I like working with natural fabrics, and I like working with sturdy fabrics. So it like speaks to me a lot on those levels, and because there's so many colors available in them, that also like really speaks to me.
And it kind of feeds into that utilitarian aspect too of your designs. And it's just like kind of comes full circle. Like we can go outside in the rain and I can have my fanny pack. And
Totally.
It's not gonna fall apart and get destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, how great is it to like buy a piece that someone made by hand that's like so cute and colorful and brings you so much joy and keeps your shit dry when it's pouring rain. It's like you just don't lose.
So we kind of talked about the pre-production side of things. Would you be able to kind of show us what the production aspect of the bag making process is like?
So I have a cutter that comes in, or she's like my studio assistant. She comes in once a week for 4 or 5 hours and like preps. So I have like a list that I keep of like all the orders that are up, and then I make a secondary list for her for cutting. So she cuts and preps most of this stuff for me. So she like cuts it all and like piles it out for me. And then how I work production is that like it works so well for me to have all of these piles because I switch thread colors so often that when I start to tackle this, I'll do everything that's black. Like as you can see, I just started sewing this cream because I had cream thread on the machine. So like I would take all of these, sew all my labels on, and then I would start sewing like in color. So everything that needed black thread, I would run it through. Everything that needed like sunshine yellow thread, I would run it through. And then I kind of just like work in a circle until things start like finishing. the fannies, which is like a really involved process, which takes a lot of like different hands and time. So all the fannies are made with like quilted wax canvas. I never quilt anything for just one piece. I try and work in like 3s and 6s so that I have like a backstock. So we have pattern pieces where like this is 3 fanny side pieces that I like quilt all at once, and like this pattern piece that's over there is actually like 6 fanny bodies, just because it takes a very similar amount of energy to create 6 of something than it does to just sit down and do one.
That's really awesome. So kind of what I'm hearing is you don't really do it by piece. It's kind of like if you have multiple styles, and you kind of more do it by color,
Yeah,
and focus that way, and then work your way around.
yeah. There's so many components to them. You have to like sew the zipper top piece is separate, and then the side tabs are separate, and then everything is a different color. So on this wall, this one bin here is like all offcuts that are large sized, and then this bin under here is like all the offcuts that are small sized. So a lot of projects that I do like on my own for ready to ship, I'm drawing from these 2 bins to help like move the offcuts along so that everything is getting used up. The zipper pieces and the side tab pieces for the fannies all come from like this smaller bin. I've started doing this project, which is like quilting scrap pieces of wax canvas that are left over. So I started like amassing piles of squares that is like from the smaller bin. So yeah, like a lot of the projects, even though I do offer customs, I try to like keep moving the stuff along so that, because like it stresses me out to have like wastage, and so I like have all these projects that I like dream up so that I can like keep the things like moving out of the studio. Wax canvas is like wildly expensive. Like some of the stuff I get is like hand waxed in the States using like local like beeswax, local or like beeswax from local bees, and it's like $50 or $60 a meter. And so I try really hard to like not just like position the pattern pieces in a way that like doesn't have like a lot of scrap left over, but then yeah, to like have this cycle to keep like the scraps moving. This is like all the larger pieces of wax canvas that I get back, or like it's been partially cut. So usually when I have custom orders, this is like the first place that I go. And then there's these bins here are like, these are actually have been like cut into fanny pieces, so they're like kind of ready to go.
I love your sewing machine. Could we maybe go and kind of take a look at the little sewing setup that you got over there?
Yes,
awesome.
definitely.
So I'd love for you to kind of walk us through your sewing setup here. For those of us that don't know, like what are the different things that we've got going on?
The thing with industrials is that they only have one job. So this machine's one job is to do a straight stitch. Mm-hmm. It's just so incredible to like, it just, having the right tool to do any job is really important. Whatever job that may be, and so this just like makes my life so easy. And then this machine over here is an industrial serger. So you know, like if you look on the inside of like any of your clothes, there's always that like crazy stitch with like 4 or 5 different threads going in all sorts of directions that keeps the edges from fraying. So that's what that machine does. So just having like a machine that like can handle the weight of the fabric and also is simple enough for you to be able to like open it up and clean it out properly every once in a while is like very important. I don't think if I was like on a domestic doing this, it would be a very different experience sewing. I'd probably swear a lot more.
Yeah, fair enough.
But these make my job very easy. I hammered like so many snaps in my life, like a crazy amount of snaps, so many snaps. And only like 3 weeks ago did I get my first like snap like press. It's important to have the right tools, and it's so cool when you like finally find it, or like, you know, you've been like doing it one way and then you realize that there's like an easier way. And then I used my press with like the proper, like I got like spring snaps, so they're like high quality, like from my wholesaler, because I want to produce jackets in the future. So it was also just like a practice to see like how it would go. Snap press, totally baller.
I would love to see, like, how many designs do you currently offer right now?
I don't know. It's wild to think that a year ago I had like one thing, and now I think I have like 6, 7, 8 styles of bags.
Do you see Never Ending Weekend growing into like having multiple sewers at a time in here, or is it kind of just for now going to be where you're at?
I love this, and it's what I want to do, and I feel like my whole life has been working up until this point. So I scale things back, and I take a lot less orders now, so that I have time to come up with designs, and I don't have any intentions of expanding or like finding other people to produce my work. It doesn't feel like Never Ending Weekend is me, and I feel like it wouldn't feel authentic to me anymore if someone else was making it. Yeah, I don't have any intentions of expanding at all. I would just like to keep it the way that it is right now for as long as I can.
That says a lot too about just in general sustainability and consumption practices. Like keeping it small kind of keeps in mind that we need to have kind of a slower cycle in terms of how much are you buying, and you know, how long do you aspire to get that bag from Never Ending Weekend? Like keeping the scale small, it kind of keeps it in the community and keeps that mindset like you're not going to be turning over product like crazy, and people aren't going to be coming through the door and trying to get all this stuff that they don't need. Like,
yeah, I think intentional buying is really important. I've recently started carrying like care products on my website. I'm from a company based in Portland. They make like cleaning products for wax canvas and like re-waxing bars that are like 100% natural, like beeswax. And you know, it's my intention of having that on my website, that like if someone does have one of my pieces, or they have some other wax canvas piece, because it's kind of hard to get in Canada, otter wax, that they, you know, can like have it lasting longer, you know, instead of just something getting dirty and then them like not being interested in it anymore. I think it's like important to at least like offer to have like a way to keep a piece alive for as long as humanly possible.
yeah, well, I think that answers all of my like talking points and questions. Thanks for having us and showing us around everywhere.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It was awesome.